Hi, we're with Channel 6 News.
On the banks of the Willamette River, people living in structures resembling beaver dams.
Others built cabins complete with doors and windows with no regulation. It is a hard to reach location and it makes it difficult to grasp what's happening on this waterfront property with $1 million view of downtown.
So Coin 6 wants to know who's in charge of protecting the land, the river, and helping the people. For weeks, our investigator Dan Tilkin has been asking those tough questions about what's been ignored for so long. And the scope of this problem is amazing.
And we were told that some of these cabins have been there for at least 5 years. Some have a surprisingly high level of construction. So we discovered that the soil they sit on right here, just north of the Fremont Bridge, is sort of a no man's land in the middle of a modern city. And no one wants to take responsibility.
It looks like about 9 structures.
We first learned of people living on the banks of the Willamette in makeshift cabins from Ric Scaramella and Larry Purtle.
These are not tents, these are structures.
We were initially in their home to talk to the retired couple about the surprise bill and late penalties they got for the Metro tax to provide services for the homeless crisis.
Several $1,000s.
When they pointed out the issue they've been watching through their windows for the last 5 years.
Going to the bathroom right there on the beach.
Can you guess how many times you've complained or called?
I would say since 2017, 30, 40.
We wanted to know about the people who constructed this riverfront community. It's so isolated by the adjacent rail yard, it's best seen by boat. There's a cabin with a solar panel on it. There's windows that they've got built in. Several of these cabins are actually quite square. They're built very proportionately. They've got metal roofs. Some of the places where they appear to be living are hard to discern because they're made completely out of driftwood. They've made piles of wood on top of each other. It's hard to imagine somebody living in there. Hello? Can we talk to you? I hope to speak with the man we saw coming and going from one of the driftwood structures. Yeah. You don't want to be on the news? All right, you take care. I tried again at another cabin, hoping the person I saw inside would come out. With no luck, we took the boat downriver and came across more living structures. Hello? And a man amongst the driftwood. We're with Channel 6 News, doing a story on people living on the river. We'd like to speak with you. It's fascinating that in this modern city that has gone through so many troubles, that you have these people who have created their own community here right on the waterfront, amidst the ships, the traffic of the Fremont Bridge, the trains of Union Pacific going by. It's two different worlds. Hello? On the beach, we met a person trying to navigate those two worlds. Paula only shared her first name. How long have you lived here?
Off and on for about a year and a half.
It's gotta be rough.
Sometimes.
Paula lives in a tent in the shadow of the Daimler Truck North America headquarters. Her life set off course after a devastating breakup.
I think and I think I have personality disorders too that I'm dealing with. I think that's kind of what kept me out here so long.
She told me she's addicted to meth.
There's a few shelters I liked. They would have been great, except for like the no drugs thing. Like that sucks. Like I don't think drugs are my problem. My problem is I have no place to like wash my hair and go to the bathroom.
There are also no facilities back upriver at the community of cabins. And the question, who's in charge? You would think it'd be easy to figure out who regulates the shoreline. You've got the city, the county, the state, the feds, and then you have private property owners.
And pretty much everyone comes back and says that they don't have jurisdiction because it's Union Pacific, it's a railroad.
Property records show this strip of beach appears to belong to Union Pacific. By email, I asked the railroad for an interview, but a spokesman emailed instead, writing, "This area is particularly challenging to enforce because cabins are near the water's edge. Under ordinary high watermark common law, the boundary separating public land from private land is determined by natural fluctuations of the water, making it a legal gray area." I tried to get answers from the Oregon Department of State Lands, which regulates rivers. A spokesperson echoed the same thing while declining my request for an interview, writing, "The bad news is, at this point, it's hard to say if we have a role. Where public ownership of the riverbed bank ends and upland ownership begins is complicated." She said property experts would need to visit the site and examine high and low water marks. The city, which is in charge of cleaning up homeless camps, also declined an interview. The reasoning? The property belongs to Union Pacific, and other properties we saw belong to the Port of Portland.
There's just garbage strewn all over the place. There's a boat with no trailer. There's a motorcycle over there. Lots of tarps.
This area is called Lindbergh's Beach, downriver from the cabins. Pictures show the trash shore and where people were living on the public path above. Coincidentally, several days after our visit by boat, a joint effort between the City of Portland, the Department of State Lands, the Oregon Marine Board, Metro, and the Port of Portland pulled out 10 tons of debris and 2 abandoned boats. We were able to find 2 of the exact spots pictures were taken. Here's the before, and here's the after. At the other spot we found, before and after. It was a massive effort, one that doesn't appear in the works for the community of cabins and the people who live in them. As for the one person who shared the story of her primitive beachside existence, there is encouraging news. Paula is on a waiting list for a county-sponsored rehab clinic, with hope her spot opens soon.
What do you say to people who are frustrated by people like you who are living on the streets or living on the beach?
What do I say to people that are frustrated? Love is everything. It's how we treat each other. People are so quick to be angry.
I have talked to so many agencies who regulate rivers in some way. Each told us they don't play a role in this. For instance, DEQ and the Army Corps of Engineers. I also checked with Multnomah County, which funds outreach programs to homeless people. Today they said it's possible a nonprofit has worked with people living there, but the county can't say if that has actually happened.
You showed so clearly how this is sort of a no man's land, a gray area. It's almost like these agencies are relieved that it's not on this, like, not my problem, the next guy's, not my problem, it's so-and-so's problem.
Well, they all said we need to talk, an expert would have to go out there. Like, well, let's send an expert out there.
No.
So
We're waiting.
Cleanup, though, that you mentioned that was coincidental.
It was coincidental, completely coincidental, but we went out there, and when I say it's cleaned up, the big stuff is gone, but there is pieces of junk and garbage and things you don't know what it is out there. So if somebody wanted to go for a walk out there, a bike ride, wouldn't recommend it.
Dan, Jenny and I were looking at that and you think, just the fire hazard of that.
Right.
Is it going to take a fire where some people die in one of those structures for them to go, maybe we ought to clean it up, we ought to get together? I don't know.
We're very reactive in this society,
Sure.
not proactive.
Yeah, excellent story, Dan. Really opened a lot of eyes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, taking